So hi again, it's me, ThePorkyYorkie. This week I'm doing a little thing on bikes, which most people, oh, I'm not interested in bikes. Trust me, you will be in this. Promise you. Over the years I've owned 15 bikes. I've also owned 4 kind of not quite bike things, which I'll get onto in a bit. But yeah, I have owned 15 bikes. A list of all of them. I've had a universal rapid reactor, I've had a Cornell Eye, I've had a Shockwave something or other that I got on the cheap, I've had a hybrid racing bike, which basically I took a racing bike, couldn't use the drop bars, put a flat bar on it, job done. I've had a Land Rover G4 Dual. I've had a Dawes Galaxy, I've had a Rally Courier which I'm working on at the moment, I have had a Jade Green Brasilia 18 speed Synchro, which is one that I'm still riding at the moment. I have had 2 which I call shit bikes, one of which, because they're the spares basically, one of which was a Grey Townsend something or other, which was a bog standard mountain bike, but it worked. And the other one, I went to Aiken, which is an area of York, and bought it for £5. It lasted 2 days and then the rear wheel exploded. And by exploded I mean I got to work, I parked it up, 20 minutes later the inner tube in the wheel went boom and took the rear wheel with it. Now I'm not complaining because it saved me on bus fare for 2 days, so, but yeah, that was fun, especially when the boss came down. Yeah, I've had a Rally Max mountain bike which had tubing like this. It was huge, incredibly heavy, so I got rid of that one. I had one with a dynamo, which I had when I was younger. I've had a Cube something or other hybrid bike which was too big for me. Yeah, I know, too big for me. And I've had a little folding bike which was also hilarious to see me riding on. And I've had a fixed gear Rally Equip racing bike. But that's not all. That's a list of all the bikes I've had. Now we get on to the interesting bit. For a time, one of my bikes got stolen. And this was when I was still working as a street canvasser. And I needed a bike fairly quickly because, like I mentioned in another vlog, I did 5 miles a day on a bike. So I needed it, basically. I went to a second-hand shop. And they had a tricycle, and it had a nice big basket for carrying my leaflets around with me, so I went and bought that. Yeah, it had drum brakes which seized up every time it rained, which was fun. And yeah, I'll be honest, it was a piece of rubbish, but it's an experience. One really weird thing about trikes, you know when you're on a bike you lean into corners, on a trike you have to lean out so you don't to turn, and by leaning out you shift the centre of gravity so you can topple the trike, which was hilarious for going round corners at speed, which you're not meant to do on a trike. But another one I owned while I was doing street canvassing was a bright yellow go-kart. I didn't have a name for it. It was incredibly heavy, it only had 1 gear, and to go anywhere at a decent pace I had to be pedalling like that, which was fun because I got to work all horrible and hot and sweaty, which is why I got rid of it in the end. I may have also tried to go up a curb with it and broken one of the crank arms. Yeah, this was one of those things that you get in holiday parks that are built for bigger people. And I broke it. Yeah. What else have we got? And then there's the 2 really interesting ones. In 2006, I was still riding on scooters because fuck the police. And one that I found online, I was looking for an adult sized one because I wasn't exactly small back then either. I was looking for an adult sized one, and I found this. Now I know what you're thinking, that is brilliant. Basically it's like a normal kid's scooter, but it's got bigger wheels, so it rolls better. And it was a lot of fun until, of course, I went over a bump and snapped the frame itself. Yeah, so I haven't had one of those since, but what I have had is one of these. Yeah, a lot of people have never seen one of them before. They will never see one of them again because it's the only one in the UK, and some bloke down south in Kent now owns it. It's called a Monster Roller. The little decal on the side says "Do not walk," and it was so heavy. that was the reason I got rid of it. The great big tyres, the weight of it, and the fact that the ground clearance was huge meant that I had to get rid of it. But again, it was fun while it lasted, so yeah. I don't know if you've guessed by now, I am a bit of an extrovert. Don't know if I mentioned that previously, but yeah, that's it for me for this time. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will hopefully see you all at summer in the city. Bye.